in Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Good morning, students. A hearty welcome to our English Language 1 class. It is such a pleasure and privilege to teach you. I am indeed grateful to Prudent Media for providing us with this Prudent Scholars educational platform to help us to reach out to you right in the comfort and safety of your homes, teaching you the subjects and preparing you for the inevitable exams. As you saw in the heading, today we are doing two topics from section B, writing skills. They are letter writing and essay writing. Let us do a brief recap of the non-textual syllabus topics that we have covered so far. The topics are placed in sequential order, same as the question paper. From section A, reading skills, we have comprehension, note-making and summarizing. From section B, writing skills, notice and advertisement writing, report writing, both school magazine and newspaper reports. In section C, grammar, we have completed modal auxiliaries, and in transformation of sentences, we have done voice, active and passive, remove to and use, so that. The two topics that I will revise with you today are letter writing and essay writing. Yes, I used the word revise because you have already learnt to write different kinds of letters, articles and essays, and you have been writing them right from the middle school level. But there are certain expectations that you must fulfill when attempting to write a letter or an essay at this stage of your academic progress, and particularly in this subject, English Language 1. Let us begin with letter writing. As prescribed in your syllabus, you have to learn to write two kinds of letters which are useful not just for exams but for practical purposes too. The first is a letter to a public service department, a government department. It may be a letter addressing an issue or a letter of complaint or even a letter expressing appreciation. The second is letter to the editor. It may be one highlighting the day-to-day problems faced by citizens. Examples are need for garbage management or traffic regulation, stray animals or any other public nuisance, infrastructure issues, just about anything, the correction of which will lead to the common good of all. You know, letters have many roles to play, and in our context, they could be bouquets or brickbats, and verbal ones are both preferable and effective. Let us start with the objectives of letter writing. Students must plan organize and present ideas coherently following the prescribed format. There you are. The prescribed format which you must strictly adhere to, and the content of your letter, these are two main features. The other features are a formal tone, grammatically correct language, perfect adherence to the theme. The instruction is very clear. Use full block format. We shall go through the full block format of the letter. Do keep your stationery, pen and notebook ready. Now, these are the noteworthy features of a letter. You have to know them. Sender's full name to be written above the sender's address. Equal spacing between all items of letter is a must. Single line spacing is enough. Punctuation marks to be written only within addresses and for content, that is the actual paragraphs. The word date, D-A-T-E, date, must be written before the actual date. Write ordinal numbers in figures. That means ST, TH, RD, ND must be avoided after number figures. I will show you later in a sample letter. For the moment, remember D/M/Y. That's date, day, month, year. The word subject to be written in full. Subject topic to be written briefly. Do not write the word to before the receiver's address. Salutation, that is the greeting, may be sir/madam or dear sir/dear madam. But of course, if you know the gender of the receiver, then you please stick to sir or madam as the case may be. Here, please remember, the word dear is not an expression of affection. Letter content must be written in minimum 3 paragraphs. However, the main paragraph may be split into 2 smaller paragraphs depending on the number of points addressed. Paragraph writing begins next to the margin. Write thank you and not thanking you. Thank you, full stop. For the complimentary close, write yours sincerely, generally, yours sincerely or even yours truly for letter to the editor. Please avoid fancy signatures, you know, those scrawls and designer kind of initials. Below the signature of sender, write the full name of sender within brackets. Tone, grammatical accuracy, correct spellings, organization of ideas and inclusion of suggestions if asked for, all will determine the scoring of marks. Now look at the full block format. This is the design and this is the one that you have to strictly follow. Begin with name of sender, as I told you, and the spaces are clearly given there. So after sender's address, leave a space, then you write the date, and I have already told you the way of writing the date, then you leave a space, then the designation of receiver, the inside address, that is the address of the receiver, then leave a space, subject, leave a space, salutation, leave a space, introductory paragraph, leave a space. Then the main paragraph, which is also called the body of the letter. Now you may have one or two main paragraphs, but see that you leave equal spaces. Then of course is the conclusion, the concluding paragraph, and then again you leave a space. Thank you. Very important, students. Please remember that the receiver is giving you the time of day to read the letter that you have written. So you have to thank. Then leave a space and then the complimentary close. What does it consist of? Yours sincerely, and then the signature followed by the full name in brackets. So this is the format of a full block format letter. Now that we have learned the full block format, let's move on to some model letters. Okay, I have prepared the question. Let's read the content of the question because that is where you get all your ideas from. Let's read it. A large property in a green belt area of your village of Marani has been bought by a businessman. According to reliable sources, he plans to set up a metal fabrication industry on this land. The resultant chemical pollution will affect the village people and natural resources. Write a letter to the editor of a local newspaper objecting to the same. Your name is Avinash Gaonkar. Your address is Riverview, Marani, Bardes, Goa. And there's your instruction. Use full block format and the number of marks is given in brackets. Now, please look at the words local newspaper. Editor of a local newspaper. The name of the newspaper is not mentioned. You are free to write any newspaper of your choice, provided of course you know the correct address, and also the date. Feel free to mention the date of the day. Thank you. Now this is what the preliminary part of the letter looks like, beginning with the name of the sender, the address. Please notice that there are no punctuation marks outside except within the address after Bardes. Then see how the date is written. Then after leaving the necessary spaces, the address of the editor, then the subject. See the word, full word subject, and what is the subject very briefly, and then of course after leaving a space you write the salutation. Let's take a look at what the introductory paragraph looks like. The villagers of Marani received a rude shock. So you come directly to the point, okay? On hearing that a plot of land in a prominent area of the village, designated as Green Belt, had been bought by a businessman for the express purpose of setting up a metal fabricating unit in the near future. This news has caused a great disturbance to the local people who wish to communicate their objections to the same through this letter, which we hope will be published in the esteemed columns of your widely read newspaper. This is the main paragraph. The project is opposed for reasons cited below. Marani village is still a verdant place full of green fields, thick forests and rivers teeming with fish. Agriculture and fishing are not hobbies here, but sources of livelihood. it is imperative that the setting up of a metal fabrication industry should be opposed tooth and nail due to the certainty of chemical pollution, which will have an adverse effect on the natural resources. It will ultimately destroy all that we villagers hold dear in our environment. Is this the future that we envisage for our children? Kindly publish this letter so that readers in Goa and outside the state will become aware of this danger looming like a specter over our village and others in Goa, which are eyed by industrialists and so-called land developers. Save our village, save our environment, and save us. And then, of course, after leaving the space, you must write thank you. And this is the complimentary close. Yours, it's your choice. You can write truly or you can write sincerely. Write only one. Both are correct. Then the initials followed by the full name. So this is a letter to the editor. Okay? You have seen the language. You know, it must be spontaneous, but you must maintain a polite tone. You got it? Because, please remember students, you are not telling the editor to go and attend to the problem. Through the newspaper, you are hoping that the concerned authorities will attend to the issue. Now let's look at another model question. This is a letter to a government department. In this case, a police station. There is complete disorder in front of the Rose Primary School, Sobitgaon compound. Every day in the afternoon when school closes at 2 p.m. Write a letter to the sub-inspector of the Sobitgaon police station requesting him to appoint one traffic policeman to regulate the traffic during this time. Your name is Raj Kamath, your address is Rose Garden, Sobitgaon, Tiswadi, Goa. Once again, very clearly useful block format and of course 8 marks. So, shall we begin looking at this letter? It's a model. You can see the punctuation marks are within the address, not after Kamath, not after Garden, not after Goa. Then see how the date is written. Again, there's no comma after 2020. Then, you know, after leaving the required spaces in between items, you have the receiver's designation and address. Again, look at the punctuation marks. And then, of course, the subject, very clearly, request for a traffic policeman to regulate traffic outside the place at the time. All this is mentioned very clearly in the subject. Remember, readers, you know, receivers, they look at the subject. If it is, well, referring to their capacity, then they will take it up. So, in the subject, you must mention. And then, of course, you have the salutation. This is the first paragraph. Let's read it together. It's a good idea. I wish to bring to your notice a serious situation that is taking place daily from Monday to Saturday in front of Rose Primary School, Sobitgaon. The main road from Panaji to Vasco runs directly in front of the school compound wall and gate. Every day at 2 p.m. when school closes, this serious problem of uncontrolled road traffic posing danger to children is experienced, and only you can provide a solution to it. Picture the scene. So this is the main paragraph, there's only one, and see how it has been written. School having ended, the children are tired and hungry. Those who travel by the school bus and those who walk home have to compete with impatient drivers of four-wheelers and riders of two-wheelers who do not seem to care either for the safety or even the very lives of these little ones who are so precious to us. As you must have realized by now, there is an urgent need for the presence of a traffic policeman to supervise the safe crossing of children across the busy road and to ensure the smooth flow of traffic, showing consideration to children who are sometimes alone with friends or maybe even with parents or caretakers, guardians. This is the concluding paragraph. While we appreciate, that's the tone, of request. While we appreciate that your staff is busy doing a great job, you are kindly requested to provide a traffic policeman at this place at the time mentioned above. Let us not wait for any serious mishap to take place. Prevention is the best remedy. The school authorities, the PTA, and all like-minded citizens will be very grateful for this service. Thank you. And then the complimentary close, always to a government department, yours sincerely. The initials followed by the full name in brackets. Now, let's take a look at another model question. This is how it is framed. The Sunny Village main road is in a very bad condition due to erosion caused by the recent heavy rainfall. Write a letter to the Sunny Village Panchayat requesting for repairs and maintenance for the sake of safety of human life and vehicles. Your name is Rajan or Rajani. This is how sometimes names are given in the question, Goenkar. Your address is Ring Road, Sunny Village, Goa. Once again, the instruction to use full block format and the number of marks. Now look at this preliminary. This is the name of the sender followed by the address, and there's no need to put any commas in between. These are various examples to give you an idea. And then you have the date followed by the address of the receiver. Then you have the subject, and that is followed by the salutation. Now look at the introduction. I wish to bring to your notice the bad state of the main road linking Mapsa town and Terekol, and to request for urgent repair work to be undertaken. The recent heavy rain has caused erosion of an extreme nature. The road is seriously damaged. There are deep and wide potholes, ditches and pools of water on the road. Riders often lose their balance, and we have witnessed 2 serious accidents. Expensive vehicles too are damaged, and no one compensates the owners for losses incurred. So this is a letter in which there are 2 main paragraphs. Okay, watch out. This road leads to the market town of Mapsa, and people from many villages on this route are using it. Not only shoppers and sellers, but also school and college students, office goers, tourists, and interstate travelers are all very unhappy with their experiences on this road. So this is the conclusion. After leaving a space, are kindly requested to ensure that the repairs and maintenance of this road are done and thus solve the problems of the citizens. Thank you. And that is followed by the complimentary close, yours sincerely, again the initials and the full name. This, students, is the final model question. Okay, this is to give you an idea of how these letters are worded when you are addressing people who can take serious action to make sure of the welfare of the citizens. This is the question. Water supply in your village is irregular and the water too appears to be dirty and smelly. Write a letter to the Chief Engineer, PWD, Vasco, Goa, complaining about this and request for an immediate solution to this problem. Your name is Vicky Vinita Gama. These are all fictitious names and addresses, mind you. Your address is Harbour Vista, Vasco, Goa. And of course, use full block format and the marks. Now we look at the starting. So this is how the letter begins. We start with the name of the sender, followed by the address of the sender. Then we have a space, the date, space, the designation and the address of the receiver. Please note, students, that the point after O is not a punctuation in this case. It is because HO is an abbreviation for head office. The comma is after Vasco. Then you have the subject and then you have the salutation. So this is your introduction. It pains me. Directly get to the point. It pains me to inform you that my neighbors and my family have been receiving irregular water supply, and that too of a dirty color, which makes it unfit for human use. We demand that this situation be urgently attended to, failing which. So a little, kind of a warning. I don't like to use the word threat, but it's something like that. Failing which, a delegation will be appointed to meet the MLA of this constituency and the minister in charge of this department. Since the last 10 days, water has been coming in a trickle through the pipes of our densely populated village, and people have brought it to each other's notice. The water had a greenish tinge and an unpleasant odor. We have been hoping for an improvement in the situation, but to no avail. Some thought of watering their gardens, but that little dirty water too disappeared, leaving the village literally high and dry. We now realize that a few villagers who fell sick with stomach infection could have only one reason for their illness. This we consider to be the last straw. To prevent an epidemic, this water problem has to be solved. This is the conclusion. We hope that you will prove your concern for the health and welfare of us citizens. While the provision of clean and potable water supply is a priority, the efficient functioning of the water treatment plant too needs looking into. We appeal to you to look into this matter urgently and to rectify this situation immediately. Thank you. And then the complimentary close. So here are some closing notes. There is an unlimited variety of subjects for this letter to the editor and letter to the public service department topic. Always write in the full block format following the prescribed structure, having accuracy of spelling and correctness of language and tone. Your letter will be, linguistically speaking, a work of art. In real life too, it will surely receive the desired attention. Thank you. Now, let us go to the second topic of the day, essay writing. We have completed letter writing and now essay writing. Note the few similarities of structure and design, and you will learn. The objective of essay writing: students must present ideas logically using an appropriate style with fluency, accuracy, and relevance to the topic. Write both the question number and the title of the essay, the former outside the margin and the latter at the top of the page, centered on the line. The essay must consist of a minimum of 3 paragraphs, just like in the letter. Introduction, main paragraph, conclusion. Depending upon the number of ideas, there may be smaller main paragraphs. The topics. The topics are wide and varied. There are always 5 topics from which you have to choose any one. The topics are selected and worded with care. Topics are narrative, descriptive, argumentative, imaginative, informative, and expository. They are always interesting and encourage free expression creatively too. But the rules of the game must be followed to score good marks. Now here is the format of the essay very briefly. The title centered at the top of the page. Then you have your 3 paragraphs, the introduction, the main paragraph. It's also called the body of the essay, just like you say body of the letter, and the conclusion. The main paragraph, which is, the body, it may be divided into more than 1 paragraph. Now, follow the full block format as for letter. Begin writing the paragraph next to the margin. Keep the word limit mentioned in the question in mind. May I also remind you of equal spacing. See that you leave lines between paragraphs. With that, dear students, we have come to the end of our section B, writing skills, letter writing and essay writing. These are the non-textual topics of English Language 1. Thank you for your attention. Have a lovely day. Stay safe, stay healthy, do a lot of revision. Thank you.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.
अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस। अब आपकी सुरक्षा आपके हाथों में। ल्यूपी सेफ हैंड सैनिटाइजर, आपका और चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स का फर्स्ट लाइन ऑफ डिफेंस।